Hello and welcome. Today we have with us Advocate Shashaank Sharma. He is a practicing lawyer at Madhya Pradesh High Court. He completed his LLB from the Faculty of Law, Delhi University. He has been actively participating in before the Supreme Court of India, and right now he is practicing before the MP High Court. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today in this session, whereby we will be deliberating upon the
you.
of young lawyers. We are thankful to have you, sir, in this session.
Hi, hello. Thank you.
So today, the first question from which we'll start will be that every person has its own struggles, failures, and successes. So what were some of the struggles that you faced as a young lawyer? And what advice would you like to give the young lawyers who are there in this field right now?
Okay, so as far as the question concerned, that what are the struggle which an advocate does, or if you ask me that what kind of struggle I does, actually in your question there are two hidden questions. अगर आप एक बेबी प्लांट लगाते हैं तो इनिशियली वहां पर भी स्ट्रगल लगता है, और अगर हम डार्विन की थ्योरी की बात करें तो दैट इज अ सर्वाइवल ऑफ फिटेस्ट. सो एनिमल लाइफ में बात करें, प्लांट लाइफ में बात करें, ह्यूमन बीइंग्स में बात करें, ऑब्वियसली देयर बी द स्ट्रगल.
Yes, sir.
So as far as the struggle of an advocate is concerned, obviously struggle है, because जिंदगी का दूसरा नाम problem है. Okay, so there are a number of struggles. If you ask me that what kind of struggles we face, so there are social struggle, political struggle, and obviously the bigger one, that is the economic struggle, and last but not the least, and that's the most important, that is the academic struggle. Me that I belong to a field of science. So initially I had a lot of problems to understand what is law basically. तो शुरुआत में तो समझ में ही नहीं आता था what are the basic terms and all. So it takes time with the जैसे जैसे time निकलता गया चीजें समझ में आती गई. Okay. I personally believe that there are a number of people or who actually faces this kind of struggle. It's a very tough level of very specific kind of a struggle. Okay. Which usually demotivates a person a lot. It happens. See, अगर मैं small towns की बात करूँ, as of I belong to Gwalior. I'm not talking about Delhi and all. Actually, this special struggle is a very specific kind of struggle जो हर कोई advocate bear करता है. Especially वो लोग जिनको backup नहीं है, the person who do not having any backup from their family, they used to struggle a lot in this very specific area. Okay, yes, so financially struggle बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है. Financially struggle ऐसे हो जाता है that initially if you joined any of the offices, अगर मैं small towns की बात करूँ, तो वहाँ पे you didn't get much. Okay, maximally you get 3,000 or 5,000, this much amount you're getting in the offices. This is what the stark reality. But so this thing demotivates a lot. ये चीज आपके अंदर अगर मेरे से पूछो तो क्या जनरेट करती है, तो I personally believe that this generates an appetite. See, जब तक आप भूखे नहीं होंगे तब तक आपको किसी चीज की वैल्यू नहीं रियलाइज हो. So I personally believe कि ये चीज एक वैल्यू रियलाइज करती है कि यार भाई मैंने जिस वजह से इस प्रोफेशन को चुना है, अब अल्टीमेटली I have to act, I have to play the role of a lawyer. So in order to reach up to that level, obviously I have to face all these hurdles, because these are nothing but just the hurdles. Okay, yes, there are other hurdles too. As if, see, if you are moving in a corridor and if you are a young advocate, so in a corridor, what's corridor? Majority of lawyers are saying these words that अरे यार बेकार profession है, बेकार profession में छोड़ दो. These are kind of words. Now it's up to you how much you get affected by those words. Yes. So this shows that whether you are clear with your ambition or not, whether you are clear with your goal or not. If you are clear with your goal, so these things doesn't affect you. And ultimately I must say this thing कि वो survival of fittest की theory continuously चलती रहती है. अब या तो कुछ लोग डिप्रेस होके छोड़ देते हैं, कुछ लोग फील्ड चेंज कर लेते हैं, कुछ लोग अल्टरनेटली कुछ और बिजनेस वगैरह शुरू कर देते हैं, कुछ लोग टिके रहते हैं. So if you act as a woodpecker, and definitely you will win the race. This is what I believe. So my suggestion to all those persons who are also facing this struggle, and I'm also facing, because as I said in the beginning, that life is nothing but it's a problem. It's a journey of problem or a journey of struggle. So it's very beautiful, and because it's a journey of struggle, तो आप के अंदर स्मार्टनेस वहीं से आती है, आप जितने हर्डल्स को फेस करते हुए जाते हैं. Okay, so you have to be like a woodpecker. This is what I believe. Yes.
Yes, so we learn from our experiences and our struggles. So definitely, it was a really great answer and advice for all the young lawyers who are right now struggling a lot. So thank you so much for this. Now, another very important question, or another very important thing that the young lawyers face or struggle is that if a particular law student does not have good connections in the law field or good networks in the law field, then do you think that it is difficult for that young lawyer to stand in the in this particular field? Is it important to have good connections and network, or if he or she doesn't have these connections, still he or she can stay in this law field? What are your views regarding that?
It's a- See, you have raised a very good question. Okay. The question is that do you really need to have a good connections in this field as if it's a prime most requirement or an essential part of this field? If you have to an advocate, so obviously you should have a good connections. What do you mean by good connections? I mean to say that you have a good network. You should
Yes.
be a good amicable nature you should have, means you should be आपका एक अच्छा recognition होना चाहिए society में. Okay, this is
Yes.
what something we require. But suppose if a person is a young person, a person who has just now started, it's not, how come is it possible that he should have a good connection? So what is the prime most requirement which made him or her stand in this field? I personally believe it's a talent. He or she
Yes.
should have talent. He or she should have a command over the law. He or she should have a good understanding. Okay, this is the prime most requirement. If you have a good understanding of the law, good observation.
Yes.
So you should have a good observation. If you have a good observation, good command, definitely. I believe if you have a good, if you are a talented person, talent in all these aspects. So if you have good command over the law, you can understand the things. See what has been required to be a lawyer. What we usually seen in the court, that is pleadings. That is one of the part of this profession. What has been required? See, you first of all, the requirement is that you should have an understanding of a case. First of all, a
Yes.
case has been come before you, so you should have an understanding that what has been there in this matter. So
Hmm.
for that, you have to be a good observant, keen observer, and a psychologist too. Okay, who can understand the client's brain, because at times it happens that client is unable to express what he feel like, but which has been hidden in his heart. So he wants to express, but he couldn't express in a proper way. So you have to be a good face reader. You have to be a good psychologist. This is what I personally believe.
Yes,
So
sir.
you have to see all these things, and then you have to make cross with the client. Thereupon you get to know the entire story, because it might have happens at times that client wouldn't be able to explain you. And it also happens that client used to hide the things,
Yes.
majority of things which is really very important in the matter that has been hidden by the client only. Okay, so you have to drag, you have to take off all these things and need to understand the things. So once you have to understand the things, this is the first step. Secondly, you have to draft it in a proper way.
Hmm.
So the second step is that you have to prepare a file. Third stage is the drafting is really very important, and drafting comes with the time.
Hmm.
You have to do it, then you'll face the lacuna, then again do it, success failure, ये बार बार करते करते एक आपको ड्राफ्टिंग अच्छी आती है. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेजेस ऑफ फाइलिंग द मैटर, यू हैव टू फाइल इन द कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ. तो आप उसके बाद आपको पता लगता है कि अच्छा इसमें ये डिफॉल्ट्स थे, देन यू नीड टू क्योर दोस डिफॉल्ट्स एंड ऑल. ओके, उसके बाद वो मैटर पहुंचता है बोर्ड. ओके, from there this process begins. Okay, so what has been required is the talent to understand the things कि ये चीजें किस तरह से हो रही. So
Hmm.
initially आपके contacts नहीं होंगे, it takes time. बाद में धीरे 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 बनते हैं, तो it doesn't matter if you don't have contacts. I personally believe you can survive very well. Okay, so this is what something.
Yes. So definitely, because there are some young lawyers whose main question is that because they don't have good networks or good connections, so they are not able to, move ahead in the law field. But with your advice right now, it would be very easy for them to understand that they can make good connections further. So now we'll move forward with another question, and that is that it is believed that those young lawyers who come from a non-legal background faces a lot of problem in standing out in the legal field. So do you agree with this?
I believe yes, because the person who belongs to a non-legal background, obviously, he needs time to understand the things. Because as if you ask me, that I belong to science background, as I told initially, तो मेरा तो biology background था, और from वहां से जब मैंने शुरुआत करी, and I entered into DU in law faculty, तो I face a lot of problems. Okay, but मेरा जिंदगी में एक ये ऑब्जर्वेशन रहा है कि जैसे हिंदी मीडियम के स्टूडेंट्स की इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छी होती है. Why is that so? क्योंकि वो as compared to the English medium students, हिंदी मीडियम के बच्चों की इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छी होती है. This is what I believe. तो मैंने देखा भी है. तो ऐसे ही जो नॉन लीगल बैकग्राउंड के बच्चे होते हैं, they started from the ABCD. So please don't get demotivated, because once you started from ABCD, क्योंकि आपको जंप एंड जैक नहीं खेलना, क्या मुझे इतना आता है उतना मुझे सीखना है, ये इस स्थिति में आप नहीं है. तो यहाँ पर क्या, आप बिल्कुल बिगिनिंग से शुरुआत करता हो. आप बिगिनिंग से शुरुआत करते हुए तो हर चीज आप ग्रास रूट लेवल से ग्रास करते हुए जाते हो, तो ऑब्वियसली उसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती. तो वो चीज बहुत अच्छी है अगर आपको ये सीखने का मौका मिल रहा है. दिस इज व्हाट आई बिलीव, और ऐसा होता है. तो शुरुआत में जैसे अगर आप मेरे से पूछो, तो व्हाट आई डिड इट इनिशियली, कि जब मैंने लॉ फैकल्टी में शुरुआत हुई थी, तो मैंने फिर लॉ की क्लासेस भी ली थी शुरुआत में. मतलब आई पर्सनली जॉइन द क्लासेस टू अंडरस्टैंड द लॉ. ओके, तो वहां से फिर उसके बाद आई स्टार्टेड टीचिंग एज वेल. टीचिंग से फिर बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स खुद के मेरे क्लियर हुए. उसके बाद और साथ ही साथ आई यूज्ड टू बी इनटू दिस इंटर्नशिप्स एज वेल. तो प्रैक्टिकल और थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज का एक साथ कंपाइलेशन होता था. तो ऐसे जाके धीरे 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 चीजें आती जाती हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, अगर आप जिस भी फील्ड को बिलोंग करते हो, अगर आप नॉन लीगल फील्ड को बिलोंग करते हो, तो आफ्टर ऑल वंस अप टू वंस अटेन्ड अ डेफिनेट लेवल, एक लेवल को अचीव करने के बाद वही चीज आपके काम आती है. अगर आप साइंस बैकग्राउंड को बिलोंग करते हो, तो ऑब्वियसली आपकी वो साइंटिफिक अप्रोच काम आएगी. आप हर एक फैक्ट का एनालिसिस बहुत अच्छे से कर पाओ. दिस इज व्हाट समथिंग वी डन. सो ये पार्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. आप जिस भी फील्ड को बिलोंग कर रहे हो, वो चीज अगर आपके ब्लड में है, तो लॉ के साथ वो रिफ्लेक्ट होती हुई आएगी, और फिर उस पर्सपेक्टिव से आप उस चीज को देख पाओगे, हर एक फैक्ट को उस तरह से देख पाओगे, हर एक लॉ को उस तरह से आप देख पाओगे. तो वो आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा बेनिफिशियल होती है. बाद में जाके आर्गुमेंट्स के दौरान भी आपका यही एक नजरिया होता है, एक फुटिंग होती है, which has really been helpful to you. Okay, जी. So this is what I
Yes,
believe
sir.
in this case.
Definitely, because people belonging from non-legal background clearly experience struggles because they have to start from the very starting, as you have explained. So, as you talked about internships, so my next question will be that learning from experiences that a young lawyer gains from the internships is one thing that is highly appreciated when one law student enters into this legal field as a young lawyer. So what are your views regarding that, that how much importance does experiences put when one young lawyer enters into the law field?
See, when a young law aspirant, when he enters into internship, so at that point of time he's lesser liable, and he's more okay. This is what his status is, that you are considered to be a good student. Okay, you are a student at that point of time to be a good student, and you are lesser liable. You don't have much liability either of the office or of the cases. So so you can learn a lot, you can observe the things, आप maximum चीजें कर सकते हो, you can ask number of questions from the seniors, और वो एक time होता है जब आप n number of things you can learn at that point of time. Okay, but once you properly, once you means after getting your registration, once you become an independent, problems को आप ही को face करना है. Ultimately, then though you have to be a student as well. Well, matlab, at that point of time, there is a balance is required. Okay, so you have to remain liable. Liability भी आपके ऊपर आएगी, financial, social, political, every liability you will have to bear that. Secondly, आप वो liability भी bear करनी है आपको. फिर उसके बाद अपने profession को भी run करना है, family को भी run करना है. ये सारी situations आगे सामने आपके खड़ी हो जाती है. ये एक very basic difference हो जाता है. बट अगर आप इंटर्नशिप्स करते हैं, तो आप उस चीज से बहुत ज्यादा एक्वेंटेड हो जाते हो, वो चीजें आपको समझ में आने लगती है, बाद में जाके प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती. सो दिस इज व्हाट आई बिलीव. इसलिए मेरा सजेशन होता है हर एक स्टूडेंट से कि प्लीज डू इंटर्नशिप्स. और इंटर्नशिप्स आप मल्टीपल प्लेसेस पर करें. जैसे आपने क्रिमिनल लॉयर किया करी, फिर आप सिविल में जाएं, सर्विस में जाएं, टैक्सेशन में जाएं. ओके, ताकि आपको मालूम पड़े कि अच्छा अलग अलग फील्ड्स क्या है, और मैं किस चीज के लिए बना हूं, ये बड़ा जरूरी हो जाता है, ये जानना आपको, आपके लिए सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि व्हाट इज मेंट फॉर मी, मतलब आई मेंट फॉर विच फील्ड बेसिकली। सो ये इंटर्नशिप से ये चीज क्लैरिटी आती है, एक बेसिक क्लैरिटी आती जाती है आपके पास। ओके, बिकॉज एक लॉयर जो होता है, ही इज अ जैक ऑफ ऑल ट्रेड्स, सो यू हैव टू बी अ जैक ऑफ ऑल ट्रेड्स। आपके पास हर चीज की नॉलेज होना बहुत जरूरी है, समाज के हर तरह के, हर क्लास के व्यक्ति को समझना बहुत जरूरी है, और क्योंकि हर किसी के पास डिस्प्यूट्स है, तो वो आपको सारे लेवल पर जाके हर एक एंगल को सेट करते हुए समझना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है।
Yes, sir, definitely. So internships and experiences are one thing that are the most important things for a law student, and it gives an edge to the young lawyers, definitely. So next, we all know that law field is a very competitive field because there are a lot of law students who are coming up. There are a lot of young lawyers that are coming, and all want jobs. So, what is one thing that you would like to suggest with which the young lawyer can ace this field? They can be successful in this field.
If you ask me that how could a young lawyer be successful, very first thing is required that you should have a vision why you have opted this field. This field has a lot of challenges, undoubtedly, as I told you initially. First of all, the social challenge, you have to establish yourself in the society.
Yes.
Second, political challenges. Political. There's no such challenge. Basically, you got the privilege from the political side. You got the privilege that you are considered to be one of the privileged section. Lawyer is one of the privileged section, privileged class. Okay. Financially, yes, of course, there are challenges initially. There are a number of options in the very first beginning to those who do not have a good background, good financial support from their family. But you have to be really very consistent. You have to make up your zeal. You should have your belief system. You should have a belief system that for what I have opted this field. If I have opted for this purpose, yes, definitely I'm going to achieve it. Although there are a lot of struggles, there are a lot of problems you are facing it, but still you have to be consistent with this thing. बिकॉज ये प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी, फाइनेंशियल कंस्ट्रेंट्स आएंगे, रास्ते आपको खुद ढूंढने होंगे। एज इफ अगर आपको लगता है शुरुआती दौर में अगर आप नहीं सरवाइव कर पा रहे हो, दिस मच अमाउंट जो आपको मिल रहा है आपके ऑफिस से वो पर्याप्त नहीं है, दैट इज नॉट सफिशिएंट, सो यू कैन डू अदर थिंग्स रिलेटेड टू लॉ। यू कैन गो फॉर टीचिंग, अगर आप छोटी छोटी क्लासेस ले सकते हो, एज इफ टुडे अब तो ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म इज अवेलेबल, सो यू कैन टेक द क्लासेस एंड देयर आर लॉट ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म्स वेयर यू कैन गिव द डिलीवर द लेक्चर्स एंड अर्न मनी। अगर आप वैसा कर सकते हो ताकि वो चीज आपको हेल्पफुल होगी आप ही के सब्जेक्ट में, आप ही की फील्ड में आपके लिए वो हेल्पफुल रहेगी। ओके, सो ये सारी चीजें, प्लस आप मैक्सिमम कॉन्टैक्ट्स बनाए। व्हाई देयर इज अ नीड टू हैव कॉन्टैक्ट? सी, contact making is necessary because until unless you'll be recognized, how could somebody approaches you? So you need to have a recognition in the society. So until unless you have not been known by the people, आप एक established lawyer कैसे हो पाओगे? तो एक इसीलिए कॉन्टैक्ट मेकिंग पे जो बार बार स्ट्रेस दिया जाता है, जरूरी इसलिए हो जाता है कि आपकी पहचान बने। ओके, पहचान बने एक तो आपके अपने लेवल पे, दूसरी पहचान बनती है आपके केसेस से। जो भी केस आ रहा है आपको पूरा उसको थॉरो स्टडी करना है, एक एक फैक्ट को एनालाइज करिए, बार बार पढ़िए उन चीजों पे, बार बार उस पर रिसर्च करिए, छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स हैं उन पर जा जाके बार बार रिसर्च करिए, इश्यूज फाइंड आउट करिए, उनसे रिलेटेड केस लॉज पढ़िए। जजमेंट्स को जब हम पढ़ते हैं तो जजमेंट से चीजें समझ में आती हैं। ओके, सो दीज आर ऑल द थिंग्स, दीज आर द प्रैक्टिसेस, एक्सरसाइजेस यू शुड डू। And as I told you that advocate is a jack of all trades. So what do I mean by that? See, you should have a good communication skill. You should be a good orator, good psychologist, okay, good reader, good observer. Observation is the best. I personally believe observation is the best thing. You can simply sit in the court of law and you can simply observe the n number of advocates. There are n number of people which came before the dais and you can simply observe them. क्या ये किस तरह से बहस कर रहे हैं, ये किस तरह से देख रहे हैं, कुछ डाउट है, अगर डाउट्स क्रिएट करके अलग अलग सीनियर्स को अप्रोच करिए कि सर मुझे ये समझ नहीं आया, मुझे समझाइए, ताकि आपको समझ में आएगा कि हर किसी का देखने का नजरिया क्या है, वो लॉ को किस तरह से देख रहा है। तो आपको वहां से एक नया विजन, एक नई टैक्टिक्स मिलेगी कि अच्छा इसको ऐसे भी देखा जा सकता था, इसको ऐसे भी बढ़ा जा सकता था, इस चीज को मैं ऐसे नहीं देख पाया या ऐसे नहीं देख पाई। तो इससे आपकी जो टॉपिंग स्किल्स है वो इम्प्रूव होंगे, प्लस आपको किस तरह से प्रेजेंट करना है वो चीजें इंप्रूव होती जाएंगी. सो दीज आर ऑल द थिंग्स. और अगर आप इस जील के साथ करते हैं, चलते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली यू गेट अ सक्सेस. ओके, जैसा कि कलाम साहब हमेशा कहते हैं कि यू शुड हैव अ ड्रीम, बट दैट ड्रीम शुड नॉट व्हिच यू सीन आफ्टर स्लीपिंग, but the dream should be that which doesn't allow you to sleep. Okay, so
Yes.
if you have decided that I have to become a good advocate, you will definitely become a good advocate. Okay, this is what the point.
It was very motivational indeed, because a lot of young lawyers struggle with lack of motivation when they face struggles in this field. So, thank you so much for this motivation that you are providing us young lawyers and everybody who will be watching this. So, the next question, which I would like to ask, is that we have seen that young lawyers struggle with finding the right legal field. There are a lot of legal field, either litigation or maybe in corporate or any other field. So there is a lot of confusion when one person enters into this field. So what will you suggest those people, that how do they understand that which field is personally good for them?
देखिए, एक बड़ी अच्छी कहावत है हिंदी में, घाट घाट का पानी पीना. Okay, it used in a very negative sense, but I believe initially it has really been required. When you are an intern, it is necessary to go through this घाट घाट का पानी. मतलब आप अलग अलग ऑफिसेज में इंटर्नशिप करें, उससे क्या होगा, you get an opportunity to introspect yourself. Introspection is really very important, that for which field I meant for. As I personally believe, I am very much comfortable in service law. Okay, service matters में बड़ा comfortable रहता हूँ, ऐसा मुझे personally feel होता है. Okay, तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि ये आपको खुद को डिसाइड करना है कि कौन सी फील्ड आपके लिए जरूरी है, और वो चीज आती है इंट्रोस्पेक्शन से. You have to introspect, you have to do lot of experiments with you. For this, experimentation is really very important. You have to do number of experiments कि यार ये मैटर भी ट्राई करके देखते हैं, मतलब जो मैटर आपके पास आए, प्लीज ट्राई, and then you'll get to know later on कि हाँ यार, I am better in this field or that field. Do I have a command in this field or that field? Okay, so whatever things, whatever skill your personality has, what does it suits to which field, you'll automatically get to know this thing. And one more thing that is again really very important, that depends upon the demand. What is the demand of a lawyer? Suppose आप IPR के बहुत अच्छे lawyer हैं, and your office is in some small town where there is no such IPR cases. So in that case, there will be a wastage of your time and everything and energy. So introspection plus a demand, that which is the demand is required. So demand plus introspection plus experimentation with the field. This is really very important. Okay, so try as much matters as you can. Okay, don't say I don't know this thing or that thing. Just go through it, try kariye, jeetoge, haroge, that's not a matter of concern. Matter is that how good you perform. Your performance matters. Okay, so this is what I believe, if you ask me.
Yes, sir. So experimentation is the key to find that what exactly is right for one person and what is not. Definitely. So now when we talk about the present times where there is coronavirus situation in the whole world and our country also. So during that time when there was a lot of problems with each field, the young lawyers have struggled a lot to find new opportunities and jobs. Like they have graduated from their law colleges, but they could not find any job opportunities. So, do you think that it has been a very difficult situation for those people? And what should they do to not being demotivated now? Because now I think that things are getting better and we are going back on the track. So, what are your views regarding that?
See, change is a law of nature. Change is a law of nature. Okay. And if you ask me, then law of inertia is there, जो कभी भी change, जो ये कहता है कि जो चीज जिस state में है उसी में रहनी चाहिए. Things has to be in that state which they want, and if you wanted to change that state, you need to put some efforts. Definitely. So due to which एक और एक maxim निकल के आती है, that is necessity is a mother of invention. Okay, so now because of this necessity, a lot of inventions have been done. As if this online platform has been developed. Raj Kapoor Sahab ne kaha tha that the show must go on, and this is what we are seeing these days. That show must go on means the hearings are going on this online platform. Obviously, initially the lot of problems have been faced by all of us. शुरुआत में केसेस ही नहीं आते थे, केसेस आना बंद हो गए थे, फाइनेंशियल कंस्ट्रेंट्स आ गए थे, अब चीजें इंप्रूव कर रही हैं धीरे धीरे। तो नाउ एज ऑफ नाउ अब एक नए लेवल पे हम काम कर रहे हैं। अब धीरे धीरे अब ऐसा लॉकडाउन कम होते जा रहे हैं, कुछ जगह बढ़े हैं, कुछ जगह अब कम होते जा रहे हैं, जैसा देख रहे हैं हम लोग। जैसे डबल वैक्सीनेशन के बाद जो है चीजें इंप्रूव होती जा रही है। तो ऑब्वियसली नाउ वी बिकम मोर टेक्टफुल टू डील विद ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन बोथ द वेज। सो अब जो है अपॉर्चुनिटीज, ऑब्वियसली शुरुआत में अपॉर्चुनिटीज बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही थी, अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत कम हो गई थी, आपकी नेटवर्किंग, सोशल नेटवर्किंग बहुत कम हो गई थी। हाउ यू वुड बी एबल टू इंटरेक्ट विद अ न्यू क्लाइंट, इट्स रियली बीन ह्यूज टास्क। मतलब कैसे आप इंटरेक्ट करो, कैसे क्लाइंट आप तक आए, वो पॉसिबल नहीं था। सो ये प्रॉब्लम्स सभी एडवोकेट्स ने फेस करी है, और इसका धीरे 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 जैसे कि टाइम निकलता गया, जैसे कि टाइम निकल रहा है, सो अब उसके साथ अडॉप्ट करते हुए चले आ रहे हैं। सो इसमें अब डिमोटिवेट होने वाली बात नहीं है, बल्कि मेरा ये मानना है कि अब आप ज्यादा टैक्टफुल हो गए, आप ऑनलाइन मीडियम से भी उसी तरह से अपने केसेस को रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हो। नई नई चीजें आपके पास आ गई, आप और ज्यादा स्मार्ट हो गए हो। दिस इज व्हाट आई बिलीव, कि स्मार्टनेस आपके अंदर आ गई है। ऑल्दो उसका आउटपुट अभी इतना ज्यादा नहीं दिख रहा है, बट हैव पेशेंस, एक टाइम के बाद इसका आउटपुट भी दिखेगा। ओके, तो अगर आपने लॉ करी है, आप लीगल बैकग्राउंड से हैं, नो इश्यूज, हैव पेशेंस, यू विल डेफिनेटली गेट द अपॉर्चुनिटी। ओके, क्योंकि डिस्प्यूट्स कम नहीं होंगे। डिस्प्यूट्स तो सोसाइटी है, सोसाइटी में डिस्प्यूट्स एंड एन नंबर ऑफ, नाउ सोसाइटी इज डायनेमिक, सोसाइटी इज ऑर्गेनिक, दैट मींस सोसाइटी हैज अ वैरायटी। सो एज द सोसाइटी हैज अ वैरायटी, सो देयर आर वैरायटी ऑफ डिस्प्यूट्स। तो अभी क्लाइंट अगर अप्रोच नहीं कर पाए, तो अब धीरे धीरे ये इस मीडियम के थ्रू क्लाइंट्स विल डेफिनेटली अप्रोचेस अस। ओके, सो हैव पेशेंस, दिस इज व्हाट आई recommend to all. So that's it.
Yes. So the last question for today's thing is that in this situation of coronavirus, a lot of law students studies have been impacted, and now that they are entering into the law field as young lawyers, they don't know how to start, because when you move into the law field, when there was an offline time, there were a lot of people around them who can help them that what they should do and what not. So can you give some advice as to how to start, and the first thing that the young lawyer must do in order to establish themselves in this field?
See, for that, you just go through n number of articles are there. Okay, so आप articles पढ़िए, जितने लोगों से interact कर सकते हैं, जितना possible है, आप interaction बढ़ाइए. Okay, और मतलब there are n number of articles given, okay, on the side. अपने concepts को strong करिए by that time. जितना हो सकता है, strengthen your concepts as much as you can. Okay, so strengthen your concepts building करिए, articles पढ़िए, case laws पढ़िए, लेकिन time waste मत करिए. Okay, something is better than nothing. If you don't get an opportunity, then have patience. Agriculture का एक नियम होता है, एग्रीकल्चर का नियम होता है कि that field is not always in a working mode. एक resting phase आता है.
Yes, sir.
So you can consider it as a resting phase. Okay, so resting phase का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि वहाँ development नहीं हो रहा. Obviously there is a development, as if we all go for sleep. So it doesn't matter कि हम उस वक्त डेवलप नहीं कर रहे होते, हम इंटरनली डेवलप हो रहे होते हैं, इसलिए देयर इज अ नीड टू हैव अ स्लीप. ओके, उसी तरह से अगर आपको कोई रास्ता नहीं मिल रहा, तो बेस्ट वे इज हिट एंड ट्रायल. Hit and trial, do experiments as much as you can. Now in fact I believe you have n number of options. शुरुआत में हमारे पास लिमिटेड रिसोर्स होते थे, लिमिटेड लोग होते थे जिनसे हम पूछ पाते थे. आज हमारे पास n number of people are there. You can interact with a lot of people in your, obviously the number of people in your Facebook account, Instagram, WhatsApp, you can interact with them. So अब तो मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि अब तो इंटरेक्शन और ज्यादा बढ़ गया है. पहले आप इतने लोगों से इंटरेक्ट नहीं कर पाते थे, अब आप हर किसी से जहां जैसे चाहो आप इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हो, लोगों के व्यूज पढ़ सकते हो. तो उसमें आपको हिट एंड ट्राई एक्सपेरिमेंट करने का मौका मिलेगा. सी, अगर पहले से ही अगर आपको गाइडेड डायरेक्शंस मिल जाएं, तो आपको ये नहीं समझ में आएगा कि मुझे कहां नहीं जाना है. अगर थॉमस एडिसन ने 1000 बार गलतियां नहीं करी होती, उन्हें हम कहते हैं गलतियां, आई बिलीव कि he has got 1000 ways कि how a bulb will not be invented. So you have to do in that way. Okay, so ये मेरा मानना है. और इन द लास्ट में एक कोटेशन हमेशा अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, जो अपने कलीग्स हैं, जो थके हुए और जो डिप्रेस है, उनको हमेशा ये कहता हूं, इस बात को बार बार दोहराइएगा कि असफलता घेरे तुझे, मार्ग हो अवरुद्ध, पास ना हो धन तेरे, और कार्य हो अपार, तो भाग मत कर प्रयास भाग मत. पीड़ा ही सुख है, सुख ही है पीड़ा, तो भाग मत कर प्रयास भाग मत.
It was
Okay.
wonderful, sir. So, a very motivating session with Advocate Shashaank Sharma, sir. It has been a wonderful talking to you about the struggles of young lawyers and what exactly they can do to keep themselves motivated in today's time. So, it was a wonderful session with you, sir. Thank you so much for sparing your time for this particular session. And thank you for all your advices and lessons that you have provided to all the young lawyers. Thank you so much.